Good morning, everybody. Today, the topic is bullying and how wrong bullying it is. I've been bullied since I was a child for the most part, and as I got older, because of my past record, some people have bullied me to the point of I can't always think straight because of the harassment, threats, and so forth. And that's how we lost fair treatment several years ago by a news broadcaster that wanted to bully me and not tell the whole truth about my past. And it caused me to have a cardiac arrest twice and a major stroke back in 2020. A lot of people think that bullying just affects kids, as it is very dangerous for children to be bullied. Kids have committed suicide, due to it, and I don't, according to the APA, bullying itself is not the only reason that they commit suicide. A lot of times it is because of things that's happening at home or mental health status, but bullying does not help. I'm going to read something to you. While many believe that bullying only happens throughout childhood, it doesn't always stop once we grow up. In fact, almost 1 in 3 adult Americans report being bullied, with 43% feeling that adult bullying has become more acceptable behavior. Making an unacceptable behavior is important, since bullying can have damaging effects even for those doing the bullying. Here we clarify that with an adult bully is and the different types. We also share the mental health effects and adults bullying, followed by ways to deal with bullying as victims, bystanders, or even as perpetrators who wants to stop engaging in harmful behavior. Then down here it says what constitutes an adult bullying, and today my speech is a little bit off, so you're going to have to forgive me. The American Psychological Association, APA, defines bullying as a form of aggressive behavior in which someone intentionally and repeatedly causes another person's injury or discomfort. Just like children and teenagers can be bullied, so can adults. As adults, an adult bully can regularly make the victim of their actions feel oppressed, belittled, humiliated, or de-energized. Some of the behaviors that they engage in include invasion of the other person's personal space, personal insults, public shaming, ridiculing jokes, threats, unwanted contact. And that is true. There's cyberbullying, which has happened to me for many years, threatening phone calls, the media, and I want people to know that they're not alone. And what keeps me going is my faith in God, that I can overcome my challenges in life. Right now, I have a lady that's bullying me that pretended to be my friend and then started contacting family members on my past who she never even met me until a couple years ago. Stuff like that is bullying. Calling people up, talking about other people behind their back, harassing phone calls, negative things about a person, and shaming them in public. I don't care if you're a drug offender, a sex offender, if you commit a murder or whatever. God can forgive you. In 1 John 1:9 it says He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins. I believe in divine forgiveness, and I believe in true forgiveness. Myself, I have always forgiven people that have came after me. But I had to learn, just because I forgive them does not mean I have to hang around with them or be their friend anymore. All the forgiveness means is I'm not going to dwell on it anymore and let that control my life. That's why, to me, forgiveness is so important, but this bullying thing needs to stop. I hear about kids committing suicide, adults committing suicide over this type of stuff. My mind is too strong for anything like that, and I never thought about stuff like that. But there's people that don't have family support, that may be homeless, may be down in their luck, as you may call it, or have a lack of faith, that are weak-minded, that will say, I might be better off not being here today. And we don't want to see that happening. If you're going through something like this where you're being bullied, or you feel down or depressed, I would like you to reach out to somebody. Call a pastor, call the suicide hotline, call a friend that you trust, that you can talk to. But don't be ashamed to make the first phone call that could save your life, that could change you forever. Receive the counseling that you may need. If you're struggling with addiction, don't let them win over you. Like I said, I don't care what type of addiction. Don't let them win over you. Get the help for that addiction and overcome, as I have. But shaming people in public is never the answer. I had our legislators in Ohio tried to do that to me. And it's really sad. Then I find out a couple years later, some of them had to leave due to sexual harassment and so forth. I'm not going to publicly shame anybody or mention any names, because they have to deal with their own struggles and overcome, just like any of us do. People that are locked up, I was never bullied in prison. I got along with people for the most part, but I've seen people being bullied in prison. I knew a guy that was getting out in like 2 weeks. He even purchased a dog up at Marion, but they put him in the hole for something, and he was still going to get out in 2 weeks because he was maxing out, but he committed suicide in the hole. And he was being bullied by many people, and Marion didn't take that serious. And our prison systems really don't. And I don't think they understand it. Our police departments got to learn, how to handle people that are being bullied. And they need to be able to put a stop to it. My son is being bullied right now by an uncle and harassed. That needs to stop. My heart goes out to him. But the thing is, never give up. Google up the effects of bullying online, or I need help with being bullied. I need counseling. Google that up. Or if you're the one that's doing the bullying, stop it before you really hurt someone. And I'm really encouraging people to make this first step. And let's stop the harassment, stop the unkind words, stop the public shaming. Because there's really no reason to belittle other people because you don't feel good about yourself. And a lot of times it's a power trip. Well, I don't feel good about myself, so I'm going to make somebody else's life miserable. I've seen people get harassed when they got out of prison, which is a form of bullying. The city of Parma was very good at doing that to people, shaming them publicly. The former mayor, not the current mayor, the mayor before him was really awful at it, belittling people, protesting people's houses because they live someplace and they want to start a new life and change. But it's hard when you have people in society that don't want to give you a chance. And I understand that. And I feel for you. But I don't want you ever to give up. I want you to get the help that you need. Reach out. Get the counseling. Call someone if you feel really depressed and down. And go forward. Don't let the bully win over you. Don't let the unkind words win over you. You can overcome. But you have to be willing to take that first step. I've had Christians that bullied me, that shamed me in public. And I'm a Christian. But those are the ones I don't need to stay part of. I remember several years ago, I took several guys that came out of prison to a church, and the pastor came up to me and said, you can't stay with these guys here. You can't come to our church. I said, I kept thinking to myself, isn't a church for the sinner, for the broken, for the ones that need help? I would be so glad that God does not say, I don't want to have nothing to do with you because you have a past. You know, if you're willing to change, take that first step yourself. And don't let these bullies win over you. Don't let the public shaming dictate who you are. Prove to people that you are worthy. I was lucky. I was raised in a Christian home. I was adopted when I was 6 months. Well, I was born at 6 months, so I don't know if I was adopted at 6 months or 9 months. But I was adopted. My two sisters were and my brother into a good home, a Christian home. And, you know, so I knew right from wrong, and I still chose to make the mistakes because I allowed something that happened to me dictate my life at the time. I didn't have a physical crime, but, you know, crime is crime. Sin is sin. I don't care if it's lying, stealing, sexual, drugs, murder. Sin is all equal to God. So let's overcome our struggles. Let's not let the bullies win. And if you're doing the bullying, stop before you hurt someone. Before someone takes their life because they can't handle the hate or the public shaming. Our news media is very good at doing this. You know, they want to publicly shame people. And that's never the answer. I really thank everybody for taking the time to listen. And please take this very serious on the bullying issue and get the help you need if you are being bullied. Don't let them win. Thank you, everybody.